And good afternoon, everybody. I'm Russ Lewis in the KHOU newsroom. Boy, what a wet Wednesday it has been around here, hasn't it? And we've had some problems as well. Thanks for joining us on all of our digital platforms today here at 2:15. I want to tell you from Wharton County, we just received this a little while ago, so we want to put that out to our folks watching down there. They're asking everybody to cut back as much as you can right now on your water use, especially flushing toilets, things like that. They're having a sewer problem down there, an overflow, and the less you contribute to that, the better. So limit your water use until further notice if you live in Wharton County. That's the word out of there today. But as I mentioned, a lot of problems out there, including some tornado warnings or watches out there. We don't think anything's touched down yet, but let's get over to Erika Lopez now and talk more about what's happening out there right this second. Erika?
Yeah, it's still a very active weather day here in Southeast Texas. Heavy rain ongoing for some in areas where we absolutely do not need any more rain as we speak. So here's what it looks like on radar as of right now. Actually, we have the wrong graphics up. If you guys wouldn't mind putting up max 1 for my weather graphics, but I'll talk about this as of right now. So what we still have is a very defined area of circulation. That defined area of circulation, that is what's still filtering in a lot of that moisture. Thanks, guys, for that. So here's the moisture. We saw the area of circulation, and that paints the bigger picture because that is wrapping around a lot of moisture, which is just filtering in a lot of Gulf moisture right now. So the heaviest of the rain east of 45, and you can notice a little bit of a spin with it. That's been bringing up some quick spin ups that will be possible throughout this afternoon. We just had a tornado warning that was active off the coastal areas that has since expired. Now our main concern is just flooding. A flood aerial advisory in effect until 3:45 p.m. That does include Beaumont, so east of the Houston area. But quick spin-ups are possible as we head into this afternoon, and that's something that is not uncommon or not unheard of when we talk about these tropical disturbances. It will be quick in nature, but something you definitely have to be weather aware of as we head into the afternoon. So just to let you guys know also, I am answering questions on social media, so comment below and I'll be able to answer them during this Facebook Live because I'd love to answer any questions. But let's get to what we're tracking and the forecast. Rainfall totals have been the biggest story throughout today, especially earlier this morning. Take a look at these bullseyes, these deep red and orange shaded colors. This was from this morning. This is in the span of about 12 hours, and thankfully they're finally seeing some relief. But estimated radar, Doppler radar estimated rainfall totals exceed half a foot in a lot of areas. We have had rain gauges that have well a foot of rain. So official reports, these are just estimated from Doppler, but clearly lots of issues in this area in Wharton County, Matagorda County. Earlier today, even in Fort Bend County, we've had reports of water inside folks' homes, lots of water rescues and vehicles that have been a total loss because of the flash flooding. And yes, we have seen people attempt to cross flooded roadways, which is something we do not recommend. So always a reminder to turn around, don't drown. We're still under a flash flood watch through this evening. The National Weather Service has lessened the time of that. Yesterday, it was in effect until tomorrow morning. Now the watch has been extended to include Louisiana, parts of the southeast as we head into Mississippi, but for us it's in effect until this evening, as we'll quickly be pushing away the majority of this rain as we roll into the rest of Wednesday. So let's talk about your hour by hour forecast. Okay, the center of circulation with this area of low pressure, which if it was a tighter area of low pressure, a more defined area of low pressure, it would have been a tropical storm or a tropical depression and our next named storm possibly, but that's not going to be the case anymore. It's actually weakening as this area of low pressure is moving up the coast, just as models were indicating, riding along the coast. And as it does this, well, since it is just west of us, that allows the spin, which is counterclockwise along an area of low pressure, to filter in Gulf moisture. So we're still talking on and off showers for at least the eastern part of our viewing area, and heavy downpours possible throughout this afternoon for the coast. Now, scattered showers north of that, on and off showers. I think the majority of the heavy rain threat will be done by late tonight and late this evening. Heading home from work this evening, we're not going to be completely done with the rain. Your worst issue will be the aftermath, the ponding on the roads that we see, and also some potential for still some pockets of moderate showers that will be possible. But overall, we'll have a big improvement. Notice by this evening, we still have a defined area of low pressure, but I want to fast forward to later on tonight. We don't see a defined area of low pressure, so that means the system is going to kind of fizzle out, break apart, a couple of storms possible overnight, but then quickly clearing out. By tomorrow morning, guys, it's going to be a completely different story from what we had this morning. But again, lots of areas that will continue to be flooded from what we had today, so just make sure to keep that in mind to not run into any of those flooded roadways. So let's fast forward to tomorrow afternoon. We'll get a good break. I'm going to back up our future track. We're going to get a break from no rain from tomorrow morning, but that's not going to be a very long break because here's what's going on. Upper level disturbance picking up some strong storms along I-35 tomorrow afternoon. And guys, these storms will make their way into our area by tomorrow evening, and they could bring in some strong to severe storms for tomorrow evening. So we get about a 12-hour window where we will have a break from any flash flooding or any rain at all. That will allow some time for river levels, bayous to recede for their water, but our grounds are still very saturated. So on top of that, more rain on the way late tomorrow. These storms could be strong to severe, which is why the Storm Prediction Center has issued an enhanced risk, which is our 3rd out of 5 categories for the chance of severe weather for tomorrow afternoon. So this does include Austin, just north of Corpus, and just west of Houston, but we are under a slight risk, which is 2 out of 5 for a severe threat. So the capability of some strong to severe storms, including hail, including an isolated tornado, is possible tomorrow. It's just a completely different system. So the rain we'll have tomorrow afternoon is not associated with the rain that we are getting right now. So we just can't seem to catch a break, right? All right, so after we get through that, a spotty shower is still possible Friday. I want to show you your weekend outlook because of course, we're already getting ready for the weekend, trying to plan that out, and it's going to be downright hot. The rain will be gone, but a ridge of high pressure builds in, and guys, this is going to give us our hottest temperatures that we're expecting so far for 2019. Temperatures in the upper 90s feel like temperatures will be closer to 105, 106 degrees. Make sure you're staying cool and hydrated. So what I'm going to do is go through some questions on Facebook, and then for now, I'm going to send things back to Russ. He'll give us some more updates, but we'll chat with you in just a sec.
All right, Erika, thank you. If you have a question for Erika about what's going on out there, maybe in your neighborhood, your part of town, type it in, let her know. We're going to get back to her in just a couple of minutes. She might have a chance here to answer a couple of your questions if you can get them in there, and she'll be watching for that while we get to some other stories here. Do we have the I-10 stuff? We don't. I'll just let you know that I-10 at McCarty, this would be outbound. This would be headed eastbound. It's inbound. Inbound. So it's coming westbound. Okay, I-10 at McCarty inbound. This is on the east side. We had a truck. Is it a semi?
It looks like a box truck.
A box truck?
Kind of truck.
Okay, it hit the bridge?
Yeah.
Hit the bridge there. Is that shut down the whole freeway or just? I'm talking to Brett Buffington, by the way, who saw this on one of our TransStar cameras.
One lane so far. I mean, traffic's a mess. They just don't have the cops out there to shut the bridge, to shut the lanes down, but obviously it's going to shut down 3.
Hold on one second. We're going to pull this up for you.
We're going to try to pull up. We're doing this on the fly, folks. We're going to try to pull this up for you real quick from one of the TransStar cameras so you can see exactly what's happening. We're talking about an accident. It just happened a few minutes ago. I-10 at McCarty, that's the east side, but it's heading inbound, heading westbound on I-10, and that's a mess that's going to get worse here because it just happened a few minutes ago. Police not even on the scene yet. So we've got our digital folks looking for that picture for you right now.
Here we go.
Believe we found it?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, so we're looking at it right now?
Yep.
Okay, so there you see it. And I just see the backup right there. What hit the bridge?
He lost the frame with the back of the truck.
Oh, wow. So he lost the frame of the.
It looks like that's what it appears.
Looks like the top part of the truck, or maybe the service body. I don't know what that is on the truck, but it came off, and you can see the semis there going off to the left. Already wet roads. It's already a low spot. Looks like the truck, you're right, is just past the bridge there. So at least a couple of lanes. It looks like an officer is there now. So again, there's just going to be a backup on an already wet day where traffic's already been a mess. I-10 at McCarty. This is inbound, so westbound on the east side of town here. An accident today. How bad's it been out there? I want to show you this. This is video from Highway 225. This is LaPorte. Watch this. This is a dash cam here. Watch this pickup fly through this water here. Watch what happens to him. Look at the left there. Watch this. Whoop. Fishtails, spins out, hits a couple of things, and he's done for the day. So that's what it was like out there in a lot of spots today, a lot of high water. You know, our website is a great place to visit to keep tabs on the high water spots. We have a list there that we're constantly updating as the weather moves through certain areas so you can tell what's bad right now. And that list is on our website right now for the high water spots. Let's tell you what's happening in the Malia Davis case, because so many of you still interested in that, still clicking on those stories on our digital platforms today. And this is out of some court documents that we've obtained. Darion Vince, the little girl's stepdad, who is the prime suspect in her disappearance and death, is now been ordered to undergo by the court a mental health assessment. So somebody at the Harris Center for Mental Health will collect information to determine, as the court says, if the defendant has a mental illness or an intellectual disability. So that's what's going to be happening with him. He is still in jail. He has not made bond. He has also not been charged with her murder, but he is charged right now tampering with evidence related to a human corpse in connection with Malia's death. Of course, unfortunately, her remains found on Friday in Alabama, in Arkansas, excuse me, near Hope, Arkansas, uncovered by a road crew there. So that's what's happening in that case. I know Erika Lopez, now I want to get back to the weather here as we have another storm moving in. We'll get a break, it sounds like, Erika, but not for very long. Are you seeing a lot of people concerned as you watch the comments scrolling by?
Yeah, a lot of people are actually asking about the tornado threat because we did have one active tornado warning earlier. It was just off the coast. This is what Galveston looks like right now. Still, we have the characteristics of a little bit of rotation that is possible throughout this afternoon. And also, I'll get to the tornado threat in just a sec, but I had a couple of questions regarding Houston. What's going on in Houston? Is there a flood threat still? We technically still are under a flash flood watch until this evening, but if you can take a look at radar in the latest scan, so this is in the span of about 3 hours, we're starting to clear out. Looks like east of downtown, anyone pretty much east of 45 also, that's where we still have ongoing moderate light to moderate showers, but that is slowly pushing eastward, and we're starting to dry out for the west side of town, which is great news. That disturbance is going to continue to push east. As it does, we'll get a break from areas that had a major flash flooding concern, specifically in Wharton County earlier today and Matagorda County earlier today, but we still are keeping a close eye on folks east of downtown Houston, especially along the coast where we still have some heavy showers. So again, let's talk about the tornado threat, because a quick spin up is possible, and that's something that's common when we talk about tropical systems. This was a tropical disturbance, but it still technically is an area of low pressure that's strong enough to be able to bring a quick spin up. So we do have reports of a possible water spout that did move inland, and again, that's just something that we'll have to keep a close eye on. As of right now, National Weather Service, they were talking about the possibility of a watch. We'll keep you guys updated on that if that is necessary. But I would say our biggest concern will definitely be flooding. Right now, there is an aerial flood advisory and includes League City. I did have some questions about League City out there. As far as that goes, that's where we have some heavy pockets of rain that are ongoing at the moment. So just keep that in mind. Let's see, folks are just asking, what about Beaumont? What about folks in the Galleria area? Just keep in mind that east of Houston is where we have the majority of the activity right now. So let's talk about what we've seen so far and why this was a huge issue earlier this morning. Earlier this morning, the majority of Houston was only seeing some rain, but we did have some training storms that brought in storm reports. and rainfall accumulation of up to half a foot of rain. So it was a mess earlier this morning out in Wharton County, Matagorda County also, with reports of water rescues out there. We had flooded vehicles with folks that were trying to cross flooded roadways. Do keep that in mind, that may still be a concern throughout this afternoon. So flash flood watch in effect through this evening. It does now include folks east of us, and that's because that system is moving on east. So that's going to be their issue as we roll into this evening. So let's talk about the hour-by-hour forecast, because once we are done with this disturbance, guess what? There's another system headed our way, and it's going to arrive as early as tomorrow evening. So still, here's a defined area of low pressure. That is the tropical disturbance that's been filtering in a lot of showers that are still going to be a possibility throughout this evening, because the area of low pressure is centered just west of us by this evening. Your evening commute not going to be as messy as what we had this morning, but it's not going to be completely dry. Most of the showers will be scattered in nature and will be light in nature. David Paul's walking through. He was going to duck, but then he said, what the heck? All right, so yeah, it's not going to be terrible, but your main issue is going to be areas that are receding from this flooding. So we're still talking ponding on the roads as you're heading home from work. Couple of strong storms is something we cannot rule out, but the majority of the activity, notice, is well east of the Houston area in our viewing area. So here we are. We clear out quickly overnight tonight from the tropical disturbance, but here's the heads up for what's going to head our way by tomorrow evening. We get a good break. This is from about 6 a.m. through about 2 p.m. when we stay mainly dry. So I'm going to back up just a little bit. All right, so this is tomorrow afternoon. We have a line of showers and storms developing along I-35, so the timing for this is perfect for some of these storms by the time it gets to our area to be strong to severe. This is a trough of low pressure in the upper levels of our atmosphere. That's going to initiate some of these strong storms by tomorrow evening. The timing of them for us here in Houston will be tomorrow evening for your commute. So we can't rule that out. They will be scattered. A couple of strong pockets of storms with large hail is definitely a possibility. Cannot rule out an isolated tornado. Again, this will be a completely different system that will move into our area by tomorrow. And then someone did ask for Friday, so we'll have a few showers that are still possible. Fast forwarding to Friday, there is a frontal boundary that's trying to push through. Still a little question on this, because some models are pushing the front all the way through us. Some models are stalling out the front. We're keeping a slim 20 to 30% chance of rain in the forecast for this Friday. So as far as the forecast, that's what we can expect. Just a heads up, flash flooding is your main concern this evening. And then tomorrow we are under a slight risk for some strong to severe storms. Russ?
All right, Erika, thanks very much. Erika, Jason back at 4 o'clock, just about an hour and a half from now on the TV side. But if anything happens between now and then, and really any time when we're on or off TV, our digital platforms is a great place to stay in touch. If you haven't signed up for a push notification to be alerted when we're about to go live, that's a great way to stay in touch with the very latest when we're not on TV. Anytime, 24/7. When a tornado watch or flood watch or anything comes our way, we get right on our digital platforms here. We bring that to you immediately. So that's a great way to stay up to date, especially on weather days like this. I suggest you do that, and we'll see you back at 4 o'clock. Until then, have a great afternoon, everybody.